Quantitative research focuses on numbers and measurable data. Its goal is to test theories, discover patterns, or find relationships between different factors. Step 1. Determine the purpose of your study. Exploratory research is used when there is little current information, and you want to explore the topic in depth to look for patterns or ideas. It does not test a strict prediction, instead, it helps you understand what might be happening. You can study how customers react to the introduction of self-checkout machines in stores, just to learn about behaviors and experiences. Here, we mostly use research questions. For example, what behaviors do customers show when using self-checkout machines? Conclusive research is used to test a specific prediction, called a hypothesis, or to answer a precise research question. It provides clear, evidence-based results that help in decision-making. You can test whether offering a 20% discount increases sales more than offering a buy one get one free deal. Here, we use hypothesis. Stores offering a 20% discount will have higher sales than stores offering a buy one get one deal. Step 2. Decide on your data collection. You need to know what kind of data you will collect. Primary data is information you collect directly from participants, like you can interview customers about their experiences. You can conduct short surveys. Secondary data is information collected by other researchers, such as past sales records, industry reports, and past customer feedback already gathered by other studies. You should also think about how to select participants carefully to avoid bias and ensure reliable results. Step 3. Choose the type of quantitative research design. Descriptive research design. Descriptive research is used to observe and describe facts about a situation or group without trying to change anything. When to use? Use descriptive research when you want to know what is happening or to identify patterns. It is not used to find out why something happens, how it works, decide what you want to observe, for example, student reading habits. Identify the factors you will measure. The factors you look at are called variables. For descriptive research, you just measure them without trying to change anything. Example, number of hours students read each week, test scores, age of students. Collect data from your participants through surveys, interviews, or observations. Organize and summarize the data using averages, percentages, or charts. Look for patterns or trends, but remember you cannot say one factor causes another. Types of descriptive research design. Case study, a detailed study of one group, person, or place. A researcher studies a single school to understand how its reading program works. Case series, a study of more than one case to look for similarities or differences. A researcher studies 3 different schools to compare reading scores. Cross-sectional study, a study that collects data at one point in time. A researcher collects data from students at one point in time to see how study habits relate to test scores. Longitudinal study, prospective study, a study that follows the same group over time to see changes. A researcher follows a group of students over several years to see how their study habits affect academic performance. Case control study, a study that compares 2 groups, one with a condition and one without. A researcher compares students who struggle with reading to those who do not to find patterns in learning challenges. Correlational research design, it is used to find out whether there is a relationship between 2 or more factors and how strong that relationship is. It does not prove cause and effect but shows patterns of connection. When to use? Use this type of research when you want to see if 2 things are connected, but you cannot change or control them. How it works, decide which factors, variables, you want to study. Example, time spent studying and test scores. Measure each factor carefully for all participants. Compare the factors to see if changes in one are related to changes in the other. Positive relationship, as one factor increases, the other also increases. Negative relationship, as one factor increases, the other decreases. No relationship, changes in one factor do not affect the other. Use statistics to calculate the strength and direction of the relationship. Quasi-Experimental research design. A quasi-experimental research design is a way of studying cause and effect relationships when researchers cannot randomly assign people into groups. In other words, the researcher still wants to test whether one thing influences another, but random assignment is not possible because it may be impractical or even unethical. When to use? This design is useful when you want to test whether one factor has an effect on another but cannot randomly choose who will receive the treatment or intervention. For example, in hospitals, it would not be ethical to randomly decide which patients should receive medicine and which should not if the medicine is believed to be helpful. Instead, the researcher observes and compares patients who naturally fall into different groups. How it works: identify the factor you think will cause a change, independent variable, and the factor you will measure, dependent variable. Example: attending an after-school tutoring program, independent, and test scores, dependent. Choose participants based on current characteristics, such as students who already attend tutoring. Collect data before and after the factor occurs, if possible. Compare results between groups with and without the factor to see the effect. Experimental research design. It is used to establish clear cause and effect relationships. When to use. Use this design when you can randomly assign participants to different groups and control conditions. How it works: identify the independent variable, the factor you will change, and the dependent variable, the factor you will measure. Example: a new teaching method, independent, and students' test scores. Dependent: randomly assign participants to at least 2 groups. One group receives the change, experimental group, and the other does not, control group. Measure the dependent variable before the change, pre-test. Apply the change to the experimental group only. Measure the dependent variable again after the change, post-test. Compare results to see if the change caused a difference. Causal comparative, ex post facto, research design. Causal comparative research studies the reasons behind an event or difference that has already occurred. When to use. Use this design when the factor or event has already happened, and you cannot control it. You can compare office productivity between companies that introduced flexible hours and companies that kept fixed schedules. How it works: identify the factor you think might have caused a difference, independent variable, and the outcome you will measure, dependent variable. Example: switching to online learning, independent, and student performance, dependent. Select groups based on existing differences. Students who switched versus students who did not. Collect data on the outcome for each group. Compare the groups to see if the factor may have affected the outcome. Keep in mind that you cannot be 100% sure that the factor caused the difference because it happened in the past. Step 4. Consider validity. When we choose a research design, we need to make sure our results are trustworthy. This is what validity means. Statistical conclusion validity. Are the numbers and statistics correct? Do they really show a relationship? If the math or analysis is wrong, the results will be misleading. If you test whether exercise reduces stress, but you use too small a sample, your results may not be reliable. Construct validity. Are you actually measuring what you wanted to measure? If your measurement tool is wrong, your conclusion will be wrong. If you want to study stress but only ask about hours of sleep, you are not really measuring stress. A better tool might be a stress questionnaire. Internal validity. Can you trust that one thing really caused the other? Without this, you cannot be sure about cause and effect. If students who get tutoring have better scores, was it because of the tutoring or because those students were already motivated? Internal validity checks for this. External validity. Can your findings be applied to other people, places, or situations? If results only work in one small group, they may not help others. If a study about stress is done only on doctors, can we also apply the results to teachers or office workers? If you want to test cause and effect, you need high internal validity like in an experimental design. If you want your study to apply to many people, you need high external validity like in large surveys or cross-sectional studies. If you are measuring something abstract, you need strong construct validity like using a reliable test for stress, motivation, or happiness. If you want numbers that are reliable, you need statistical conclusion validity like using enough participants and the right tests. Step 5. Match design to your question. To select the right design, if you want to explore and generate ideas, use descriptive or correlational research. If you want to test a clear cause and effect relationship, use experimental research. If random assignment is not possible, use quasi-experimental research. If the event has already happened, use causal comparative research. For a small-scale or pilot study, consider a case study or one-group descriptive study. Step 6. Collect, analyze, and interpret data. After choosing your design, create a plan for collecting data, selecting participants, and analyzing the results. Use appropriate statistical methods to identify patterns and relationships. Finally, interpret the results carefully in light of your research questions and the limitations of your study. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more easy research guides.